Okay. Okay, for the packet tracer, configure it. So packet tracer, configure a WPA2 enterprise wireless local area network on the wireless LAN controller. So here the addressing table for the devices. So for the R1, the IP address for its interface. For the switch, laptop, no, for the access point, wireless LAN controller, for the server, and then for the admin PC. So objectives in this activity will configure a new wireless LAN on a wireless LAN controller, including the VLAN interface that it will use. So we will configure the WLAN to use radio server and WPA2 enterprise to authenticate users. We will also configure the wireless LAN controller to use an SNMP server. So to configure a new VLAN interface on the WLC, configure a new wireless local area network on the wireless LAN controller, configure a new scope on the WLC internal DHCP server, configure the wireless LAN controller with SNMP settings, configure the WLC to use the radio server to authenticate WLAN users, secure a WLAN with WPA2 enterprise, and connect hosts to the new WLC. So for the background scenario, you have already configured and tested the WLC with an existing WLAN. So you configure the WPA2 PSK for that WLAN because it was to be used in the smaller business. You have been asked to configure and test a WLC topology that will be used in larger enterprise. So you know that WPA2 PSK does not scale well and is not appropriate to use in an enterprise network. Okay. So this new topology will use the radio server. So as you can see, we have the server here, WPA2 enterprise to authenticate WLAN users. So this allows administration of user accounts from a central location and provides enhanced security and transparency because each account has its own username and password. So in addition, user activity is logged on the server because we use the SNMP. So in this lab, you will create a new VLAN interface. So before the VLAN interface is pre-configured, but now we will create our new VLAN interface. So we use that interface to create a new wireless local area network and secure that wireless WLAN with WPA2 enterprise. So that is our security method. So we also configure the WLC to use the enterprise radio server to authenticate users. So in addition, we will configure the WLC to use the SNMP server. Okay, we use the SNMP. So the server here is our SNMP and radio server. Instructions with a new WLAN. So we'll create our new wireless LAN. The first one is, before that we need to create our new VLAN interface. Okay, each WLAN requires a virtual interface on the wireless local area wireless LAN controller. So these interfaces are known as dynamic interfaces. So virtual interface assign a VLAN ID and traffic that uses the interface will be tagged as a VLAN traffic. Okay, this is why connections between APs, WLC, and the router are over trunk ports. Okay, this is the trunk port. We have here the trunk ports. What? That's why this is a switch port. Okay. And the traffic from the multiple WLANs to be transported through the network. Traffic from the WLAN VLANs must be trunk. So these are the trunk ports here. Let's see. The virtual interface is assigned. This interface will be tagged as VLAN traffic. This is why connections between APs, WLC and router are over trunk ports. Okay. This is sorted. So I think this is the only access mode. Okay. So open the browser from the desktop of admin PC and connect to the IP address of the WLC over HTTPS. Okay, let's see what is our DNS server. Oh, we don't have the DNS server. Just have the default gateway. HTTPS 192.168.200.254. I need to eliminate this. HTTPS:// okay. So I need to log in. So admin and password Cisco. Okay. So click the controller menu and click interfaces. From the menu on the left you will see the default virtual interface. Interfaces. So we have here the interface. We have first the management, and what is this virtual? Okay. So click new button in the upper right hand corner. You may need to scroll down. Okay. Click this new. So enter the name of the interface. We call it WLAN 5-5. Then the VLAN ID as 5. This is the VLAN that will carry the traffic for the WLAN that we'll create later. Then we click apply. Okay. So WLAN-5. Okay. Then the VLAN ID is 5. So apply. So first configure the interface to use the port 1. Configuration screen for the VLAN interface. So first configure the interface to use the physical port number 1. Multiple VLAN interface can use the same physical port because the physical interface are like dedicated trunk ports. Okay. So the port number is 1. So is the port number in the wireless port 1 in the wireless LAN controller. Then we have the VLAN identifier, the IP address. So IP address of the interface is 192.168.5.254. Okay, and it must be 5.255. The gateway is 192.168.5.1. Let's see. 5.1. I think this is for the interface of the VLAN 5. It is separated from the management VLAN. So for the DHCP server, so user traffic from the wireless LAN that uses this VLAN interface will be on the 192.168.5.0 network. So the default gateway is the address of an interface on the router R1. So the DHCP pool has been configured on the router. Not just that we configure here for DHCP tells the WLC to forward all DHCP requests that it receives from host on the WLAN on the DHCP server on the router. Okay. Piece of that we configured here. From host, the address that we configure here for DHCP tells to forward all the DHCP requests. Okay. Primary DHCP server. Okay. So we'll be getting our IP address on the router. Okay, be assured to click apply. Okay, so then after your changes, click OK. That's okay. Click save of configuration that will be in effect when the okay. So just need to click save. Okay. Now we have an interface. Configure the WLC to use the radio server. Okay. Now for the step 2, so WPA2 enterprise user uses an external radio server to authenticate WLAN users. So individual user accounts with unique username and passwords can be configured on the radio server. Okay, before the WLC can use the services of the radio server, so the WLC must be configured with the server address. See? Okay. So click on the security menu on the WLC. Then click the new here. We have new here. Okay. So now enter the IP address. Our radio server in the server IP address field. Okay. So the radio server will authenticate the WLC before it will allow the WLC to access the user account information that is on the server. This requires a shared secret value. So Cisco123. Okay. Okay. So it's server 172.31.1.254. Okay. Now for this shared secret, we have Cisco123. Cisco123. Then you click apply. So now create a new WLAN. To create a new WLAN, use the newly created VLAN interface. Okay. Where are we? Okay, use the newly created VLAN interface for the new WLAN. Click the WLAN's entry. In the new bar, locate the drop-down box in the upper right hand corner. It will say create new and click go. Okay. So enter the profile name. The new WLAN is the profile name for the employees again. So assign an SSID of SSID 5. Change the ID drop down to 5. Okay. So host will need to use this SSID to join the network. When you're done, click and accept your settings. Profile name is floor 2 employees. It's employees. Then SSID -5. Then 5. Okay. Click apply. So note that WLAN has been created. You can configure features of the network. So click enable to make the WLAN functional. It is common. Okay. So choose the VLAN interface. Okay. will be used for the new WLAN. WLC will use this interface for user traffic on the network. Down the traffic pause. Okay. WLAN. Okay. So don't use the management because it's for the management traffic. Okay. So go to the advanced tab. Okay. And enable flex connect, local switching, and local out. Just need to check this enabled and then click apply. Okay. Now we need to configure the WLAN security. So instead of WPA2 PSK, we will configure the WLAN to use WPA2 Enterprise. And security. So create a security tab under the layer 2 tab. Oops, WLANs. Security. Okay. I think we have WLANs. Okay. So click the WLAN ID. Then you click the WLAN. Okay. So click the security tab. Sorry, WPA2. Possibility. Okay, under the enable the WPA2 policy. Okay, so click 802.1x enabled. So this tells that the WLC to use the 802.1x protocol to authenticate user externally. Click the AAA servers. Where is it? Okay. Open the drop down next to server 1, the authentication servers, and select the server that we configured in step 2. Okay. Okay, use this. So click apply to run enact this configuration you have now. Where is the apply? Okay. Where did we the security? I have the IP address. So for the part 2 is configure the HCP scope and SNMP. Okay, so step 1 is configure the DHCP scope. WLC offers its own internal DHCP server. So Cisco recommends that the WLAN DHCP server not be used for high volume DHCP services, such as that required by larger user WLANs. So, however, in smaller networks, the DHCP server can be used to provide IP address to the access points that are connected to the wired management network. In this step, we will configure the DHCP scope on the WLC and use it to address the access point. Should be connected to the wireless. Okay. Need to configure. Next is click the controller and click interfaces. Okay, so what interfaces are present? We have 3 here. So what is this weird one? I think it's the default. Now click the management interface. System management interface. We have the IP address of this one. Okay, let's see. Subnet mask and the date gateway. Okay. So we want the wireless LAN controller to use its own DHCP server to provide addressing to devices on the wireless management network, such as the APs. For this reason, enter the IP address of the WLC management interface as the primary DHCP server. But this is already enter the IP address of okay. Enter the IP address of the wireless LAN controller. Option this. I just need to copy this. Okay. So we're using the WLC as our DHCP server. And click apply. Okay. Okay. So in the left hand menu, expanded the internal DHCP server. Okay. So we got DHCP server here. Then the DHCP scope. So to create the DHCP code, so click new. Okay, name the scope wired management. So we configure the DHCP scope to provide addresses to the wired infrastructure network that connects the admin PC, WLC, and the access points. Okay, so wired management. I can't remember that I did this on bridging. So next is click apply. Click the new scope in the DHCP scopes. Able to configure information for the scope. Okay. So the full start address we have 102.168.200.240. Now for the full end is just need 10 addresses. Okay. So for the network, for the network is .0 net mask 25.5.0. Okay. 10 seconds. Default routers. This is the DNS system. Gateway. Okay. So default routers is the gateway. So we have the 192.168.200.1. .192.168.200.1. Hey. Click apply to activate configuration. Click save configuration. The upper right hand. Save your work so that it is available when the WLC starts. Okay. So apply. So save configuration. Okay. Then the internal DHCP server will now provide an address to our access point. So after a brief delay, when lap 1 has its IP address, a couple tunnel will be established and lap 1 will be able to provide access to the floor 2 employees. Okay. If you move the mouse over the LAP, so access points that topology, you will see its IP address, status of the cup-off tunnel, and the WLAN that lap 1 is providing access to. Okay, let's see. Cup-off status not connected. Okay, let's see. Okay. So for the gigabit internet, we have the IP address provided, so 200.240. Okay. Cup-off status connected to 192.168.200.254. That 254. I think that's for WLC. Now configure the SNMP. So click the management menu. So click the management menu in the WLC. Do an expand entry for SNMP. CCNA2.168.200.254. Admin Cisco 123. Okay. Okay, click the management and expand entry for SNMP, trap receivers. So enter the community stream. Okay. Let's go create new. So community name as WLAN SNMP. Okay, and the IP address of the server at 172. 72.31.1.254. Okay. Then click apply. So connect host to the network. So step 1 is configure a host to connect to the enterprise network, the packet tracer PC. You must configure a WLAN profile in order to attach to a WPA2 enterprise WLAN. Click the wireless host. PC wireless app. Okay. So click the profiles tab and then click new. Okay. New and the profile WLC net. Okay. Highlight the wireless network name for the written. Click advanced settings. Advanced setup. Okay. So verify that the SSID for the wireless and is present and then click next wireless host and we have the SSID. Let's see if we don't highlight that. It's the same setup. So next we have the SSID 5. WLC net. Did we create that? When did we create that WLC net? Okay, it's whatever. Okay, WLC net. Okay. It's not check the WLC. Okay, so verify the TCP network service. Next. Okay, we have the DHCP. Okay, so next, so the security drop down box, select the WPA2 enterprise. Then click next. So we're just using the then enter login name user. So I think this is pre-configured. So user login name, so user 1. Okay, so password is user 1 pass. User 1 pass. Click next and click save. Next. Click save. So the profile has been successfully configured. Okay. So select the WLC net. Okay. Connect to the network. So no association with. Wait. So after everything, you should see the wireless host connected. Okay, confirm the wireless host. Okay. I've successfully now have the wave that. Okay, confirm the wireless host. Save an IP address. We need to click okay. Let's see if we have the IP address 5.2. Okay. So it's on this network. Okay, you may need okay. This connectivity. So open the command prompt and confirm the wireless host laptop has obtained. Okay. We configure. Have this IP address. And the default gateway is 51, so it's correct. We're on the network. Okay. So we just need to ping the default gateway. Default gateway, the switch, I think, and then the radio server. Okay, for the switch, we have 192.168. Oops. Ping 200.100. Oops. Okay. Also for the server, so ping 172.31.1.251. Also get the reply. Okay, we have some reflections questions. Let's see. The radio server uses Google application. The server. So we have the username and password, I think. So do you think this is necessary? So for us to have our own unique authentication. So it's different from other wireless hosts or wireless clients connecting to the access points or WLC. So what are the advantages of WPA2 over enterprise? Okay. So advantage is we don't use the shared key. So we are like I said, we have our own authentication. So it's unique. 33 minutes. Then we all configured it. That's it.